friends. I am Capi from the Yarn and I Capi Podcast. For those of you that are checking me out for the first time, welcome. And let's see, you can find me as the Yarn and I on Ravelry. And I have a podcast group called the Yarn and I Capi Podcast group on Ravelry. I hope you'll check it out and possibly consider joining. We have some knit-alongs, crochet-alongs, and things that I'm participating in. And I'll probably be talking about that later. But I just, it's a nice group. And I hope to have some more prizes and things to give away. And you might like it. The other places you can find me are I am the Yarn and Me on Instagram. That's my personal feed, if you will. I am the Yarn and I also on Instagram, but that's more of my business presence. And let's see, I'm the Yarn and I LLC on Facebook. I've had a problem recently with my Instagram and Facebook. I don't know if I have been hacked or what's going on because my posts are not being seen by very many people. So I just this morning got up and read, I Google searched how to know or whatever if your Instagram account or Facebook, because they are one and the same, have been hacked. And so I did all the things that they recommended, and hopefully I'll start getting to the people that I'm used to seeing pop up. Usually I have, if you've used Instagram for a period of time, you know that when you post something, you have a good number of people who usually will, click in, and it's like, maybe a lot of them have stopped following me, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm the problem. I don't know. But I've noticed I've been getting a lot of strange people that have been wanting to have me accept them. So we'll just leave it at that. So I kind of was wondering if I was one of the people that has got a problem with either my Facebook account or my Instagram, and so we'll see. Let's see what else I can tell you. I did a podcast video yesterday, and it is going to be added after I'm done talking. It'll be at the end of the video. And I did it on overdying. And I'm really proud of myself because, overdying is one of those things where you don't know if what you do is maybe going to ruin the yarn. You have a skein of yarn as a dyer. I had some yarn that I had offered for a while on my in my Etsy store. And then there was some of it I sent out around to the shows with my friend Jean, who took it around to the Stitches shows. And some of it came back, and a lot of it, I love my stuff. I don't know, I think I do a really good job. It doesn't sell as well as I would like it to, but I think it's because I don't have the presence out there that I would like to have. So, a few of the colorways came back, and it was like, okay, this one's kind of, it needs something, or I've got to do something with it. So I decided to take a chance yesterday and just wing it and overdye and tell you the thought processes that I go through when I think about what colors I'm gonna change the item to or something. So I tried a few different techniques, and I guess I don't have them here. That was kind of silly of me that I didn't bring them in here, the results. But I will be posting. I'll make sure that there's pictures at the end of what they look like, and I'm really happy. And I think that for any of you out there that are maybe you've tried to dye some yarn yourself and you weren't really happy with how it came out, maybe these suggestions will help you rectify the skein or whatever. So I think you're going to really enjoy it, and I hope that I hear from some of you and see what you think. I'm hoping to get back to where I was before, when I was really having fun doing my dyeing and not being as crazy as I was, because I kind of had a lot of crazy moments, but they all worked. But I just want to get back to that person that it was really fun. Just trying something and seeing if it works. So, I don't know. We'll see what you think. So, I'm looking at myself on the screen here, and I have my autism superhero shirt on. And this is for my grandson, Garrett. So, of course, it says Grandma on the back. So, I know Autism Awareness has started. It's a ways away, but it's coming. So I just thought, yeah, I'll wear my superhero shirt. I kind of feel like a superhero today. Let's see. I have some things that I've been meaning to show, and I haven't. And so I'm just going to take care of a few of them and let you know about some Etsy. There's an Etsy shop out there that I want you to know about. And if you're like me and you have all of the yarn and things, you probably should have some cedar cubes, blocks, or something in your bins or whatever. And I've got them stuffed in these bins. But I want to show you these. And they are by a Etsy shop that is called Patti, P-A-T-T-I. And then by, B-Y, and then Donald, D-O-N-A-L-D. So Patti by Donald. And these are their 2x2. I have a whole bag of them. They are 2x2 by 3/4. And these are their aromatic red cedar wood blocks. And you get 16 of these for $11.50. And I have to tell you, these are the nicest people. When I got my order, because I ordered 2 sets of these, they threw in some cedar shavings. They threw in, and I'm going to try seeing if I can dye with those. So I was really excited that I got this bag of shavings, because they basically used it as the packing material. But I thought, ooh, I can put that in some water and try and get some color out of there and see what we can do. So I was excited about that. But they also gave me some extra wood pieces and things. And these are really, they are aromatic, and they are red cedar. And I happen to love the smell of cedar. So anyway, I wanted to tell you all about them. And they're a very small company. I just checked, and it looks like they've had 13 sales. And I want to give them some love. So I'm hoping that some of you might need some cedar blocks. And, you know, give them a little bit of a boost, because they're a very nice company, and that means a lot in this time. So anyway, Patti and David, or Donald, excuse me, Donald, I should know that. That's my dad's name. But Patti and Donald, hi. I'm not even sure if you'll ever see this, but I just want you to know I'm giving you a little bit of love from the yarn community. So anyway, so that's one thing I wanted to tell you about. And then another thing that happened right before Christmas, I got a message from someone who said that they wanted to, you know, they liked my yarn, my bear yarn, and that wanted to know if I would be willing to make a trade because this person has a sock machine, a circular sock machine, and she said that, you know, she wanted some of this yarn, and she, you know, tries to trade if she can. And so she offered to make some socks. And I thought, you know, it was Christmas, and I was in the Christmas spirit, and I thought, you know, I don't know this person, but, you know, I'm just going to take a chance. And I just felt, you know, that the Lord was with me and everything was going to be okay. And she wasn't asking for that much that, you know, if it was somebody that, you know, just wanted to take yarn, oh well, you know, that's the way it goes. Anyway, I have to tell you, she was the nicest person to deal with. And I'm not going to tell you her name because I know that she does a lot of this for sock businesses and things. So I don't want to give her name out because I think she would then be really overwhelmed with people wanting these. And she does it just for herself and to trade for yarn. So, but I want to show you these because these are, I got these, ordered these for Brian for a Christmas gift, even though they weren't going to be done for Christmas. And these are gorgeous. Okay, so I sent her Brian's, you know, how long he needs them, and I think the next time we're going to do them a half an inch longer. But, you know, the toes, the heels, and then she does a fold-over cuff on them. But this is my camel sock yarn. And this is gorgeous. And I want to show you because look at how, I mean, this is the color it knits up. And I have yet to sell a skein of this. And I just think it is a gorgeous color to just, you know, get this yarn and maybe make a sweater or make a garment or something with this. And it's just so soft and lovely, and it squishes up and everything. So I kind of wanted to show you that this is the possibility just in its plain state. So anyway, pretty nice. Brian is thrilled with them. And then this is my yak sock yarn. And this stuff is really pretty reasonable, you know, considering it's yak. And you can kind of make out there's just little color variations and things. So, and I know this is pretty reasonable. I can't remember how much it is, but it's not bad for a skein. I want to say it might be 18. I don't know. I think the camels more than 20, but this is not too bad. It might be even lower than that. But anyway, look at how beautiful these are. And this is, you know, this is yak and merino, and I don't know if there's some nylon in it or not, but just absolutely beautiful. So I wanted to share those with you. And while she was at it, I have had these skeins were on my, in my Etsy shop. They're 50 grams. And I had dyed these, I want to say quite a while ago. I think these were dyed on a podcast. And I put them up for sale. Nobody ever grabbed them at all. Okay? So, you know, I guess I was before Christmas, I was starting to kind of feel a little bit kind of discouraged in a way. I think you all know that. And so I sent her a couple of 50-gram skeins that I have because I knew that her socks on the sock machine would not go up my leg, you know, like, and so what I did was I sent one of these, which is this colorway that Brian reskeined, okay? So these two are the same. And look at, I felt when I got these back, I was so excited because look at what my yarn does. I mean, that's pretty darn cool. To me, this is pretty darn cool. And it tells me that I do know what I'm doing, and you know, sometimes I feel discouraged or whatever, but you know, look at how nice those stripes are, and there's a little bit of a pattern here, and all of this is just me making my yarn. Now the yellow in between is just what these are is she's done this on one continuous sock. Okay, there's I sent her some other yarn from another place, and I'm sorry, but I'm not going to advertise them. So this is my podcast. Anyway, sorry. But anyway, these are going to be, I can do an afterthought heel, and I can put the toe in it and do a cuff, because what she's got is this extra up here. It's almost like provisional cast on. So all I have to do is cut in between and then ravel it back and get the live stitches and go, you know, go forward from there. So these are going to be shorty socks for me. So I thought these were pretty cool, and I wanted to show you this. And I think I'm going to post these back up again. And I want to say they were $12 or something like that. I think that's what I priced my 50-gram skeins. But if you buy one of these, I have two left, you're going to have some nice socks, little shorty socks or whatever. So, or I guess, you know, if you buy both of them, you can have a full sock. But it's pretty cool. So, anyway, enough of that. Oh, let's see. Beyond that, I don't know what else I have to talk about. I made some bath bombs with my grandchildren. Monday was President's Day, and all the grandkids had school off, and my daughter Catherine happened to be babysitting for my younger grandchildren. And then my oldest granddaughter had spent the night at Catherine's house to play with her kids. And so we went over and we decided to try making bath bombs. And they weren't as successful as I hoped, but the kids, they had fun. Anyway, but I found out that the recipe that I bought these special molds from, I want to say it's Akeda Soapery or something like that on Etsy. And they are made on a 3D printer. And the gal, if you put in donut soap mold, I know you're going to come up with her shop. And anyway, so I found out that I didn't write the recipe down before I got to Catherine's house, and I got there, and all the kids were so excited, and they wanted to start, and I was trying to couldn't find the recipe, and I had Brian, like, listening to her. She does a little podcast about how to use her molds, and the kids wanted to start right away, so I went online and got a different recipe, and they didn't hold together the way they're supposed to. So when I got home, I decided to watch the YouTube video again, and I found that I was doing it wrong. And other than that, they would have turned out fine, because you had little kids wanting to pack the stuff in, and then when they went to unmold, they fell apart, and so what we ended up doing with some was just put them in our hands and, you know, make like a snowball with them and, you know, put them on the tray to dry. So anyway, the kids were happy. I bought some special sprinkles and, you know, crazy grandma cost me, my husband said, well, how much was all this stuff? And I said, I don't know, like $100. So $100 for soap bombs, to make soap bombs with grandkids. But, you know, hey, I just bought it little by little. You know, you buy a big 13-pound thing of baking soda, and you buy this, and you buy that, and before you know it, it adds up. I mean, if you get sprinkles, and then I got dye, and, you know, because, of course, you can't use yarn dye in the bath bombs because it would probably stain the tub, so I had to buy a different kind of dye. Anyway, so that was Monday for me. So yesterday I did the video that I'm going to attach here to the end, and so today I'm here. So let's see. Well, I'm going to make sure that I mention that for anybody that isn't aware, I am co-hosting with the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast. We are doing the Tea and Tails. It's a knit along, crochet along, and a loom along, like if you're using a lap loom. So that counts. And there's going to be prizes. I have an FO thread. I also have a kind of a participation kind of thread that is, you can enter it once a week, only one entry, but you have to be a member of my podcast group, and you have to be a member of my YouTube channel. And you can post anything that you're working on that's making you happy. So just one post a week, and I am going to draw some impromptu prize winners out of that thread. And then there's an FO thread for if you're participating in the Tea and Tails. And so those you can post, it's a no chatter thread, but just post your finished object, and you just need to tell why it qualifies for Tea and Tails, and the rules are there. And it's an extra prize that I'm going to draw, and Marlisha at Pen, Hook, and Needles is going to give it away at the end. And it's going to be a nice prize. It's going to be, you know, something that I pulled together, some stuff, and it'll be an additional prize. And it's my way of supporting Pen, Hook, and Needles. They're a wonderful podcast. They always give me love every week, and I so appreciate it. Marlisha and Talia, mwah! So just a really nice podcast. So I encourage you to check that out. I also, at the end of I have an instruction, like a thread that tells what the rules are and things like that. And at the end, there's some really nice designers that Marlisha is supporting for this Tea and Tails. And I have them listed as well. I know one is Bonnie by Designs, a Crocheting Hoovian. Boy, I'm forgetting the other ones, but check out the thread and give some love to them. And I've actually been crocheting. Don't ask me why, but I decided that I was going to see if crocheting was a bit faster, which it sort of is, yeah. And I found that some yarns definitely lend themselves to crocheting because of the way that their patterning works and things. So I'm just kind of playing around with that. I will shamelessly tell you that the Furls crochet hooks that I sell are wonderful. No doubt. I have never had the comfort in holding a hook that I have with those, and the way that they go through the yarn. I don't know. There is something to it. I have the streamlined ones, which are the more affordable version, in my shop. I have some of the expensive ones too, but just really, really nice. So if that's something that you're interested in, check them out and see what you think. I mentioned last podcast, and I'll mention it again, Marlisha of Pen, Hook, and Needles. If you go to her Ravelry group thread for Pen, Hook, and Needles, she has 2 coupon codes there. And if you go and get those coupon codes, one is a 15% off discount on everything in my shop. And I do not give out coupon codes for everything in my shop because I've got yarn here that I don't even have a full markup on, and I've got the pot holder loops and different things like that. It might be a 10%, and then there's an extra, I don't know. Check it out. I can't remember what I did. I'm going to be participating with Wool Swap. And so that's coming up in March. And I am also, anybody that signs up for Wool Swap, there will be a coupon code there too. And one other thing I wanted to tell you. Oh, the Tea and Tail shawl I designed, and I don't have it right here to show you, but I actually finished mine. I should go get it. And I've got on my Etsy shop, I have these little combinations, and I got some nice little elastic, like pretty lace to put them together. So I've got several different combinations of yarns that go together, and you know, they may not look like they do, but they'll really enhance and look nice, because this is a very, very fine mohair. So you're not going to have very much of it next to a fingering weight of yarn. So anyway, if you go to the Pen, Hook, and Needles, there is a coupon for these kits, including the pattern, and I bought special paper. I printed them out on special paper, and I put them in a plastic sleeve for you. So the whole kit, if you're participating, it's 25% off for people participating in the Tea and Tail shawl, or Tea and Tails. So you might want to check it out. So, all right. So that is, I think, all I have. I'm going to pop the over dyeing video that I took. I'll pop it in here and take a look at it. I'll make sure that at the very end I will post the photographs that I took, the afters of the yarn and how they turned out, and it's pretty cool, and probably will be looking at it again. So if you have any questions, please respond to under the YouTube. I hope you're a member. Subscribe if you'd like, and we'll see you again probably in a week or so. All right, thanks. Bye. Hi everybody, it's Capi from the Yarn and I Capi Podcast, and I am going to today do something rather unusual, but people asked me quite a while ago how I go about over dyeing things, and yarns that I dyed that aren't moving, or something that you might have dyed that you don't feel like it's the color that you wanted, and people are always asking, how do you do that? Now, before in my business,
I was hesitant to cover that because, first of all, I am not an artist. I am not a trained artist at all. I just, from growing up with my dad and things, I learned what colors kind of do. And so I go by just what I feel. So, this is totally, there's no art behind this, okay? I want to make that clear to anybody watching this video. But before, when I was really trying to sell my dyed yarns, not that I'm not yet right now, but I'm going to kind of just dye when I feel like it, and I'm trying to get rid of some stock that I have. So I felt this is a good time for me to share some little secrets in a way. So I hope this makes sense. I'm just going to go with it. You're going to be here on the ride. And I'm going to probably turn the video off at times so that I can go and get more supplies. But this is something I wanted to do. And I thought, okay, let's just do it and videotape it, and we'll see where it goes. And if worse comes to worse, it'll go in my trash bin in the computer. So anyway, let's hope that doesn't happen. So what I have is 2 yarns that I had posted on my in my Etsy shop, and then they also went with my friend Jean around the country, and it was, I guess it just isn't the right colors for people. So rather than throw this yarn out, I've given a ton of yarn away to people. I decided, okay, I'm going to try to do something else. So this is the color that this is currently, and it's wet. I will show you a dry skein. This is what I called Old Town San Diego. Now this has been soaking in water. So you can see those colors there. Oh gosh, there's all kinds of colors in here. Pink, there's green, orange, purple. There's just I don't even remember how I dyed this skein. That's how long it's been. So this is what it looked like dry. This one was a little bit more orange, and I actually liked it. So I'm going to leave this skein alone. But you can see, you can make out all those colors there. So, what I did, I decided that I like the colors enough that I want to keep some of them. So, what I did is I tied 4 knots in this skein. So now that it's wet, it's really stretchy. But, okay, I just did like a, I don't know what kind of knot this is. Like you use when you crochet, a slip knot. And then I just imagine the skein totally open. Let's do that. Okay, so I just did a slip knot here, and I did 4 of them. Now it's wet and they're falling out, but anyway. All right, so grab another slip knot's worth and tie it. And then a last one. So I had 4. I have 2 skeins of this I'm playing with. Okay, now these 2 are tighter together now. These are further apart. It doesn't matter because what I'm trying to create here is a resist area where I can still maintain some of this color feature of the yarn. We're going to see if this works. If it doesn't, then, but I think it will. I have confidence. All right, so we've got this one here. I've got another one here that is more on the, you can see that they're pretty equally spaced here on this one. So we're just going to see what happens. Never fear. Okay, so my thought on this is there is a purple in there, and I'm thinking my plan is I am going to dip this in a dark purple. And my idea is if I can overpower a lot of the color work in there, and there is, like I said, a purple already there, just like overpower it And those knots then are going to let the little blips of color that I put in them initially, going to allow them to come through sort of as a speckle almost. And that's what I'm assuming it's going to do. So, like I said, I am a novice at this. Okay, so that's one thing that you're going to see me do and see what happens. Right now, I should tell you, it is soaking in some warm water, and I put 2 small glugs of vinegar in the water so that when I do put it in the dye, that maybe it'll accept the dye quickly. So, anyway, we'll put that one over here, and we'll move this one in. Now, you can already see the color of this. You know I like bright colors. There's no lie. I had a yarn that I wanted this to go with, and it didn't sell, so I decided I don't need 3 skeins of this chartreuse color, so I'm going to over dye it. And I actually might do some speckle work with it. I'm not sure, so stay tuned. But what I want to point out to you is this is my singles yarn that I have. And I'm going to move this closer. Do you see all of the little curls that happen with the singles? And I don't understand. I'm going to squeeze some more out. This is also a little vinegar bath. A little couple glugs of vinegar and warm water. Do you see all these little curls? Now this is a single ply, but it's high twist. And I have a lot of this. And it seems like people have been told, I should step back, they have been told by dyers that this stuff pills. And I'm here to tell you it does not. I did a whole shawl for, it was a Helen Stewart pattern. It was called the Fairy Shawl, I think, and I did some beadwork in it. And I don't know where this rumor got started. Maybe if it was singles and not high twist, I don't know, but I haven't had a problem with that either, because I have both. And it's really a shame, because each of these little curls and things gives you places for unexpected surprises. If you did some speckle and things on this stuff, and you just see those curls, it allows the dye to kind of penetrate and get in these little crevices, and it's really can be really striking. So I am going to dye this up, and we're going to see what happens, and I'm going to post it that this is the yarn that I dyed on this episode. So if some of you want it, I'm probably going to sell it at a reasonable price. But I want to tell you, I have, I think, maybe 20 skeins on my website, or on my Etsy shop, for this exact yarn. And I have lowered the price, I want to say, to $9 or $10 a skein. And if you want to get some yarn and you want to try dyeing, I promise you, you are not going to be sorry if you get some of this yarn and you dye it and you make something beautiful with it. Because like I said, I don't know where the rumor got started, but this stuff does not pill. And if it did, why would, I'm trying to think, why am I drawing a blank? I am drawing a total blank. I'm trying to, Beata Jezik, she uses that in her yarn. She had the singles, any of the singles, for a long time there. People were buying them like crazy. Now, maybe that's where the rumor got started, because maybe their yarn was single but not high twist. But this is high twist and it's beautiful. So enough of that. I'm sorry I got off on a tangent, but I just want to try and get some of these rumors to stop, because this stuff is beautiful. Anyway, so this is soaking. I am going to turn the camera off for a little bit. I'm going to go and get my colors and things that I want to show you what I'm going to do. So on this green, I'm thinking I'm going to speckle it. And I'm going to speckle it today just by tapping it on, not using, and I don't know if I've ever shared with you really how I do much of this, but right now I don't care, because I'm not doing it. I'm not going to be doing that much dyeing, so I don't care. You can get a salt shaker, and you can put like a teaspoon of your dye powder and maybe a teaspoon of kosher salt, something a little thicker, and that is something that you can do to speckle your yarns. You need to wear a mask. Always wear a mask. I'm famous for not always doing that, but you need to wear a mask. And then the other thing that I would say is sometimes now because I don't want it to be as microscopically speckled, because I really believe speckles are sort of on their way moving along. So I want it to be a little bit more color. And so I just tap the side of the container and let the dye do what it wants. So that's what I'm going to do today. I see blue. You got this bright green, but I see tapping some blue, tapping some purple on here is not going to harm this at all. And I'm hoping that it just becomes an overall, speckle fest. So we're going to do that. I have committed to you, and we're going to see what's going to happen. So, all right, I'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. I just was pulling colors and things and wanted to maybe double check myself if I could. I also wanted to show you the colors that I was thinking of choosing. And in the front cover of this binder that I keep all my stuff in about dye and that kind of thing was this color wheel. Now, I have never really been taught how to use it very much, so this is just basic. But I want to show you that this yellow-green up here is probably, within the region of this color here. And if I bring it forward, okay, so there's the green up there, and right directly beneath are the colors that would cause, I want to say those are, let me look, split complementary colors. And so you can see these are the colors in this skein, with the exception of the orange, but who cares. Anyway, I just thought, oh, okay, so must be I'm on the right track, let's say. So the color I had in mind is called Intense Iris. It's a dye that I know works really well. This is Dharma Trading Company. It's one of their colors, and it's right there, but the color is not, you're not getting it. But it's called Intense Iris. It's probably a blue-purple. And so I could go with a more purple, but I think I'm going to go with this Intense Iris because maybe the blue will tone that down a little bit. Hi, I just discovered something sort of by accident. I don't know if there's any artistic backing behind what I'm going to say, but I'm going to tell you what I discovered. So I was pulling out my color charts that I have. I have this big color chart from Dharma Dharma, where I get some of my dyes from. And so I was pulling out the binder that this is in, and I had this color wheel in there. So I thought, oh, what the heck, I don't know anything much about the color wheel. I know basics, but I just noticed something really kind of cool, so I'm going to share it with you. So if you look at this skein of yarn, which I have the two that are tied in the knots, okay, like right there is like violet. And to me, that is what that presents. Maybe over here to this, what is that, red magenta, you know, something like that. But all of these colors, you can see, they're all going to work with this skein. So I am thinking, my plan was, it came into my head to use this intense iris color right here. And again, I apologize. Let me see if I turn the lights on, if that'll help. I don't know what it will, but we'll see. All right, I guess you can make it out a little bit. So this is intense iris. It is a blue iris. So I'm thinking it's, you know, kind of in this range. This range here. So that's what I'm planning to do with the skeins that look like this. Okay. Now, the other thing that I discovered was that all I had to do was turn this to the opposite this color, the violet. The complement is this kind of acid green, you know, this row of greens, yellow greens they're called. Anyway, so the acid green is the closest to it is up here. And so that's pretty cool, because that's telling me that these same shades, I should be able to speckle this green yarn and be okay. So we'll see how that goes. I just wanted to share that with you. I mean, that's my assumption, that it's telling me that these are going to work. So that's just something I discovered by accident. So I am going to mix up my intense iris. I am going to pull some colors from this grouping here, and then I'm going to meet you back and I'll tell you what I came up with. Okay, so hang on. Hi. Okay, so I have mixed up my intense iris dye, and hopefully you can kind of make this out. You can look at the spoon. It's a pretty dark iris. And what I did is I put on my mask. I did about 3/4 of a teaspoon of the powdered dye, and then I heated up my electric tea kettle. That's the best thing you can ever use. And I poured in, what, it's like about 12 ounces, 10 or 12 ounces in this jar, and then mixed it all together. So this is ready to go in my pot over there, and it's heating up, so I might give it a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to put this in and then just put those two skeins in. Now, 3/4 of a teaspoon is maybe a bit overkill, but I want to make sure that I get a nice, rich, purple, blue iris, intense iris color, and so I was thinking a 1/2 teaspoon for 2 skeins, and then I thought, okay, well, I'm going to try, I thought about 1 full teaspoon and knew that was too much, so I kind of went to the midpoint, so we'll see how that goes. All right, now for the green here, this is a boot tray from IKEA, and these are starting to be my go-to thing for doing some of my felting, and it just happened to be here. And I thought, well, I can wipe it up easily after I'm done speckling or whatever. So I'm using this boot tray. And you can see that almost all the yarn, except for just a little bit down here and a little bit up there, fits on the tray. So it's kind of nice. So for a couple bucks, that works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you about how I do my speckling, and then give you some options. I mentioned the salt shaker method, and that's not bad, but you really should be doing it outside. And right now you can't see, but we have, I don't know, 5 inches of snow or something outside, so I don't want to go outside and do my speckling outside. So what I can do is lightly tap the dye powder on, which I'm going to do some of that. And the other gizmo that works really well, this is by OXO, and it's a T-ball. And believe it or not, I found out about this trick from, oh gosh, it was a gal in England that she was a sewer and a knitter. You probably know who I'm talking about. I think now she's into writing books. Can't remember what the name of her podcast is, but if I think about it, I'll put it down here and you'll know. But anyway, she used this, and I thought, what a good idea. So we may try this. So the idea is not, I don't want to get it all over my counters, and I don't want, to get it in my lungs. So I think what I'm going to do is see how this water is doing, go over and try and add this to it, and then I can get to speckling. Yeah, it's not too bad, so I think I'm going to put it in. I got these big giant soup pots from Amazon. You can't see it from where I am, and I can't move because I got this all set up on a tripod, but they're 24 quart, I think, and I've probably got maybe 4 quarts of water in here, so it gives it a lot of room to move around the yarn. Okay, so I'm going to mix that in. And then I'm going to use some more boiling water to get the rest of this dye out of the jar. That's a little hot. Okay, so we'll get every last bit of the color. Okay. Over here. And let's see. All right, so I got it stirred in there pretty good, I think. Where's my other? Hang on 1 second. My handy dandy dye spoon. It's got all kinds of colors on it, but works really well. I'll give it another stir. Okay, and I am going to squeeze as much of the water out of these as I can. I've used my salad spinner, but I don't know where I put it, so we'll just have to go like this. There's one. And here's the second one. I'll leave my vinegar water for soaking something else. I tend to do that, by the way. Okay, so into the pot these are going. Okay. I will cover this not completely. I'm going to let it now come up to a simmer, and probably by about the time I'm done doing this. So we will see. Okay, so get my mask on. I'm sure you can hear me, I hope, with the mask. All right, So, the colors I chose are hot fuchsia, because that is like a magenta to me. And it's an all-around good color to use for, it seems like, anything. Then this is sapphire blue, so this is going to be a darker blue. And I'm using my jacquards for this. And then I had this turquoise. This may not do enough. So in addition, I had the sapphire blue, and then this is lilac, because this is the purple that I had the most of. So anyway, we're going to see how this goes. So this is all squeezed out as much, but there's still some wet to it. And I'm going to try the turquoise. Now, let's see. Can I do... There we go. Is that okay? All right, stay there. Okay. So I am going to... There. Now, probably way more than I need. But I'm going to take a chance. Life is too short not to take some risks. Actually, and I should have gloves on, shouldn't I? Let's see. Okay, I can't scratch that off. I was going to say, a lot of times I'll scratch off what's on the lid of the die. And okay, this is the lilac. This I'm kind of doing in a swirl wave pattern kind of a thing. And I'm trying to be a little, not tapping as hard as I did with that turquoise. Okay. Put that back on. I'm doing pretty well because I don't see anything on my hands yet. Okay, so here's the sapphire blue. Trying to get it up to the top. This I'm taking across. And of course the phone rings. Okay, now I've got a little heavy-handed on that, but we'll see what happens. Okay, and then here's the magenta. Ooh, fun. There's nothing scientific, artistic, or anything about this. Okay, so you know I always try things, so I'm going to try something with you right now. I have a squirt bottle, and I'm going to put some vinegar in it. Sorry to have my back to you. I'll put some water in too. Actually, you probably don't have much. Let's do that. apologize for having my back to you. What I want to do is kind of get these blobs of color to go someplace. And, oh, look there. I got a coffee stirrer. So I'm going to use this. This is just a squirt bottle with some vinegar, about half and half. And I'm going to use this to kind of do something with these colors. Get them to kind of do something. So I'm going to see if this works. Take a chance. Okay, so, because what I want to do is kind of get this, work this color in there a little bit. I can't think about how else to do that. So we're going to really give it some good vinegar. And like I said, you know, if I messed it up, that's all right. Put some more there. All these colors. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, the turquoise and the magenta are making a really nice purple here, and so now this is where if I had my gloves on, it would really be helpful because I could actually move it around. So I think I'm going to go and get my gloves. Okay. But you kind of get the idea of what I'm doing. And I might even try some water. So I'm just trying to get that dye around. I will be right back, get my gloves, and then I can play. Okay, I got the gloves on. So now I can maybe do some like kneading in here. Get some of these colors. And then another thing that I use in my felting, and I thought, well, I may as well do this too. This is a sprayer. It's one of those ones that you use it for outdoors for the gardening or something, putting on fertilizer, but I use it for my felting. Okay. I think the next time I do this, my thing to you, idea for you is to maybe have it a little wetter. I kind of took a lot of the liquid out of it when I dried it. Okay, I'm just kind of kneading it in. The turquoise actually looks really good. Funny, the color that I thought would work the least is working the best. So, what's that tell you? Isn't that funny? All right. Okay, good. You can see that the turquoise was able to get through too. So I'm flipping this over. I'm just going to kind of let the tray do some work there. Nothing, like I said, this is not anything anybody else can't do. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to wet this down. I hope you're still watching. Okay, so I got this kind of damp. I feel like I'm felting. Ooh, look at that back there. See that? So I'm just kind of letting the dye do what it wants. Let's see, I'm going to take this dyed part and put it up here on this other skein, and then we're going to see if we can transfer some. Oh, kind of liking what I'm seeing. Let's do that. Okay, so let's see what we got. I really like that turquoise, so I think, okay, can you see this? Here's got your magenta in there, and there's just all kinds of little action here, which I think is good, especially since these sad skeins were just sitting there going to no one. And I think these are going to be kind of cool. So, can you see that? I'm going to add some more of the turquoise, I think, because I like that the best. And I think it worked the best. Ooh, look at that. And you know, this is going to look different when you get it all skeined up, too. Okay, let's see which side is least. Okay, that's the least. Give a little, maybe that one. Well, this one's pretty good, pretty even. But I'm just going to do a touch of more turquoise, and then I'm just going to let them go. Okay, so let's get that turquoise here. How about this time I'll show you how this little tool works. We'll do that. Okay, so you just twist it. See how it opens up there? Just put a little bit of the dye powder in here. So that's a lot. Oh well. So we'll just see how this goes. Now, I'm actually going to do it like this because that way it has to go through 2 sections of the sieve. So that should keep it a little bit less. Yeah. It's going on much lighter. And get into some of those really good crannies. The curls like I was talking about. Ooh, can you see that? See how the speckles are doing? So this is really worth the $9 that you'll pay for it. And this is working, I have to tell you, this is working better than it has worked for me in the past. So I think I'm going to remember this tip is to do it through the double layer of the mesh. Okay, and that's it. Now, as it'll start coming up even more as it just gets the dampness. And I'm going to try, since this is such a fine mist, I'm going to see if I can push some of the speckles through. Yeah. What was it I said about not dyeing much anymore? These are the fun things that I like to do and just see what happens. And most of the time, I have to be honest, most of the time it works out okay for me, so I don't know. Anyway, all right, let me tip this up again. And can you see that? Now you can maybe it doesn't look like much from there, but it's quite, I think, quite pretty. So what I'm going to do is take it, wrap it up in some plastic, and then I will probably give it a good steam in the microwave. If I wrap it up completely in plastic, you want to make sure that you've got the dye powder completely in the plastic. I will use my microwave. We don't use our microwave that much. We just heat up coffee and things in it, and I'm really careful to make sure I get it totally wrapped so that any of the particles stay in the plastic. So anyway, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to check our purple iris. Ooh, yeah, that's iris. Wow. Well, it's dark. Okay, so we're going to see what happens. It's kind of getting up to a simmer. And I'm going to take this off because I think I've got enough of those speckles. Oh my gosh, it's so hot to wear a mask. Whew. Okay, so let me tip this up. And because you know that I'm nuts, I am going to, I think I'm going to tie this one off. I don't know. We'll see what I end up doing. I'm thinking about putting this in because it looks like there's way more purple in there than I'm going to need for those two skeins. I'm going to look around. I'm going to sign off for now, and then I will come back when I have these so that you can see what the results are. And maybe I might find some other stuff to throw in the purple pot. So that's what I do. That is, you just try and use up the dye however you can. And I probably have another skein around here that I could pop in there and use up some of that leftover dye, and we'll see what happens. So I just wanted to videotape this and let you see how I go through the process, and that's it. All right, I'll be talking to you soon.